Welcome to What in the World, Steve. Now, today I wanted to talk to you about a story that I have about brothels. Now, when I was in university, I used to work one night a week as a receptionist plus security plus a hoster? Yeah, in a brothel. Because my then big brother of that time worked 7 days a week, and he wanted to have his day off on at least one day a week. He didn't want to work the full seven. So while I was in university, he got me to work that one day a week for him, and that was between 8 p.m. and 4 p.m. But prior to that, before I started working there, I was marketing a brothel for him with the previous owner that tried to set up a place somewhere in the city. And at the beginning, I used my own vehicle, I used my own money for petrol, and I had to distribute as a marketing campaign to put it all in letterboxes and pamphlets in places all around nearby the city. I did it in the east, and I did it in the south, and then I did it in the different parts of the city. I was very young back then, so it wasn't a very rewarding thing because as a receptionist, when I picked up the phone, I had wives, mothers, ringing me and then saying that, excuse me, could you please not put any more pamphlets or business cards of that nature, into my letterbox, please? Because I'm a very happily married family, and I don't like my husband having the influence of going to places like that. And then I thought to myself, geez, I've done something very wrong. But you know what's funny? After doing all that, I think I'd done that in consecutive, for 3 to 4 weeks. And then not only did I do that, I also was sitting at the place where they finished off the location where they decided to move because they wanted to open a new place somewhere else. So all the old clients that went to the old place, I actually pulled every single one over for 3 or 4 weeks consecutively. And then I said, oh, you want to go here? Oh, we've moved over there now. Yeah. So either I took those clients personally or they just followed my car and then showed them the way. I think I did that for about 4 weeks straight. Yeah, I think the time frame was like that. So every day, I tallied up how much petrol I used and then how much cards I've actually distributed, pamphlets I've distributed. And then ultimately, when the place was starting to open, the guy that was supposed to pay me, the elder from another heading, said, okay, this is the amount, X amount of dollars I'm supposed to pay you. No, that I'm supposed to get paid. I had it all written down. And so I was about to give it to him. And then before I gave it to him, he just gave me a fraction of that amount. And he said, okay, here you go. And I looked at the amount, and then I looked at my sheet of paper, and I went, hey, that's and then my then big bro stopped me and he goes, hey, Along, this is not the way that you're supposed to treat elders. You can't disrespect him. I'm like, what the heck? I've went out of my way to market your place for you when you sent it as a favor, and then I don't even get my minimal pay. How's that work? I don't care if he's under another heading. Money's money, work is work. You get paid, you get paid. But because at the time I was still young, and because he was my big brother at the time, so I said, I let it go. If that wasn't the case, I think I would have flipped the table, but I didn't. Anyway, that was that story. So I'd left that off, and then I said, no, I'll see you the hell later then. I'm not going to continue doing that anymore. But then he worked 7 days a week. And then one day he called me and he said, look, we've changed owners. That guy doesn't run it anymore. So we got another guy coming that's running it. So you won't be seeing him anymore. So things will be good. If you just spend 1 day a week, so I don't have to work 7 days a week, that'll be very nice. And I said, okay, all right, I can do that for you. Oh, no worries, I did it week in, week out. And this is one of the experiences I'd like to share with you. One day while I was on duty, the girl that was working comes out screaming and says, "Hey, Steve, this guy's really bad. Like, he's treating me violently. And I go, "Mate, it's time to go." He goes, "But I haven't finished my time yet." "Forget your time, mate. You want to either go there half naked in the towel, or I'll escort you out another way. You choose. Put your clothes on. There's no way to disrespect ladies. Simple." And so, frowningly, he had a towel on he had a towel on him, went back to his room, quickly got changed, and then got the hell out. That was one experience. Yeah. And later on, as I worked there for about 3 or 4 months, half a year, before another story happened. But one of the ladies, she was from Indonesia, and then she had a child over in a 3-year-old child in Indonesia, and then she said, "Oh, Steve, I'm gonna quit because my visa's over, so I want to invite you for lunch. And I go, "Really? Oh no, you don't have to. It's fine. No, I'd really like to. Because it's been nice having you around here." I go, "Really? Okay, I'll come then." And thank you to her, it was the first time I've been introduced to Indonesian food. So we went to a place in nearby that place, and then it was the first time I've eaten rice with also peanuts with anchovies and stuff. So it was a very, very beautiful experience, and I've got to really thank her for that. But anyway, to my surprise, I haven't been there for long. But she said, "Look, I didn't get a chance to go around Australia or anything like that because I've just been busy working day in, day out. So just before I went back to Indonesia, I just wanted to give you something. And she gave me a SeaWorld t-shirt, because she went to Queensland and then she went to SeaWorld just to experience it. But she went into the souvenir shop and then she bought me a SeaWorld t-shirt. I was actually going to wear it, but I'm a bit messy at the moment, so I couldn't find it. Yeah, oh well, I will eventually find it and maybe wear it again one day in one of my shows. But I'm not here to do the marketing for them. Yeah, so and then that lunch was so beautiful because not only she was there, all the girls that I was working with were there as well, and they were happily having a lunch with me with smiles, and we had a lovely chat that afternoon. And I was wondering to myself, why have they never invited my supposedly big brother back in the day? You know why? Because apparently one of the girls I was working with them, he not only slept with them, but he also ripped them off money. That's why I realized how hated he was. Yeah, there's more stories of that guy. Yeah, scum. No good. Yeah, so she gave me a SeaWorld t-shirt, and I was so happy and stoked and surprised because I wasn't working there for long, and there was only that one shift a week that I did. However, they left, and then eventually I got into a bit of a biff with my previous first big brother, and then so I said bye bye to that job. But all I wanted to say is these ladies out there are providing a service, mate. Treat them with respect. They're like every other human being. It's like going to a normal shopping center. Treat the staff with respect, because everyone deserves it. And that's very, very important in life. I mean, if you can't even respect other people, then you're going to get escorted out, mate. Either with half a towel or with your full clothes. Up to you.